G'day and welcome back to RC Model Reviews. I've got some FPV goodies from HobbyKing today. I just want to take a look at, not a review, just a sort of a cursory overview and my comments on what I see as it comes out of the box. And first of all, we have this Q58-2. This is a 200 milliwatt FPV transmitter on 5.8 gigahertz. It's 40 channels, so it has your race band stuff in there. And the point of distinction of this little one, well actually let's look at the box. Where's the box? Here it is. Thing I found interesting is it says silicon carbide ceramic heat sink. I guess that's this plate on the top here. The fact that it's got a plastic cover over it which will effectively significantly impede the transfer of heat, because plastic is a great thermal insulator, doesn't really say much. It's more of a thermal mass than a heat sink, because once that gets up to temperature it's going to make no difference at all in terms of the heat dissipation, because it's got the same area as the can underneath that transmits the heat to it. So it would be useful, I guess, if you are using the thing temporarily before you take off. It means it's not going to get so hot if there's no airflow for a few minutes, but after that it'll just get as hot as it would anyway. But it's probably, no problem with that. I'm happy with that. It's just not as much of a boon as you might think. But let's have a look at the other point of distinction of this thing. Now, where most FPV transmitters have an SMA connector, this has a piece of coax, as you can see, soldered on. Now the board is designed to take an SMA connector. As you can see, that'd be one that would butt onto the board and you solder onto it. But it's got a piece of, looks like 316 coax, which goes off. I move this all the way across to there. And of course, in some installations such as mini quads, that can be useful if you want to have your FPV transmitter located in a convenient place and then mount your antenna on one of the main frame members of the quad. Things to consider: you will get lost through that much coax. This RG316 is useless. Well, not useless, but it's very high loss at 5.8 gigahertz. It's not really designed for 5.8 gigahertz. You can use it, but you will lose a bit of signal. Probably not enough to really notice. But the more interesting thing is the way that this antenna is attached. Now you'll notice here that we have the screen goes to there, and then there's a little piece of the inner of the coax goes across to there. Well, in the world of RF, that can produce quite a bit of mismatch. What it means is the impedance of this little piece of exposed wire here is not the same as the coax. It's not the same as what the transmitter module expects to see. So sometimes when it's done badly, you can actually end up with a high standing wave ratio. What that means is the power comes screaming along out of the module, hits this bump in the road, and some of it bounces back. And that means the thing can run hotter, and you get less power coming out where you want it, at the antenna. So I don't know whether that's going to be a factor in this. I'm always, especially at high frequencies, it becomes even more critical that you don't have too much of this sort of exposed inner on your coax, because it can cause funny things. But I will test this later on. I'm going to do, because I've got so many of these 5.8 gigahertz transmitters now to look at, I'm going to line them all up. We're just going to do a one-to-one comparison. We'll just look at the difference. Really, I don't expect to see a lot of difference, because most of them are using the very same RF module here that comes from a factory in China, and the different manufacturers just build different boards on the back to control that module. So the module is the heart of the system. That's the one that determines how well the 5.8 gigahertz signal is created, how stable it is, how well it's modulated. The rest of this stuff is just like setting channels, providing voltages, sometimes a little bit of level interface for the video and the audio, but nah, not going to make a whole lot of difference. Now this one has push button channel change with an LED display. I prefer that myself. I'm so tired of farting around with dip switches and instructions that you can't tell whether they mean the dip switch is up or down. It's a real nightmare. This is so much easier. And for those who say, oh yes, but you can shoot someone down while you're changing channels, well, you need to organize yourself so that everyone sets their channels before anyone takes off. Simple as that. So there you go. It's quite lightweight. That weight is never going to cause a problem on any model I've got. And it comes with an antenna. And that's one of the other points of distinction. Now most of these, excuse me while I pull out while the camera focuses, most of these systems come with your standard rubber ducky antenna, your sleeve dipole, which is crap for FPV. It's linearly polarized. This one comes with one of these. Look, it's a mushroom or a toadstool or something. It's a plastic thing. Obviously it's circularly polarized, but they don't tell you whether it's left-hand polarized or right-hand polarized. Nowhere in the instructions, oops, just dropped that, now it's useless. Nowhere in the instructions does it mention whether the antenna is left or right-hand polarized, and nowhere on the box, nowhere on the antenna itself. So I took it apart, as you do, and it's right-hand polarized. At least this one is right-hand polarized. Not that impressed with it. There's a huge amount of the inner coax poking out in the middle there, which will affect things, usually adversely. But I may include this when I do another roundup of antennas and see how well it performs. You know, apart from that, mechanically it's not too bad, I suppose. We'll have to see how well it performs. It's not the way I would build an antenna or design one for good performance, but obviously for manufacturing, they think that's pretty cool. So we'll try it out though, we'll test it out. And obviously I think this is going to be better than, well, even this is going to be better than the rubber duckies you usually get, because normally they just go straight in the bin. So there you go. Hopefully this will go back on. Hopefully it's designed to. Whoops, I think I might have buggered it because, oh no, there we go. Oh, no, I think it's a one-time fit, folks, and it didn't take much getting off, so don't count on it to protect your antenna. The plastic is crap. This is, my goodness, I can't believe it. Well, you know, to go, there we go. If you're flying FPV, you want a decent antenna anyway, so try that out. If it works, use it. If it doesn't work very well, then you know what we do here at RC Model Reviews with antennas that don't work very well. It's like magic, see? That's the best way to treat them, but I was a bit unfair, we haven't tested it. Anyway, also comes with a couple of sets of leads where you've got the plug that goes into the video transmitter itself. That has a JST, and it is from, was it 5 to 30 volts, 6 to 30 volts, so up to 6 cells, excuse my phone making a noise. It's got a servo type connector for your camera, but it doesn't have a regulated voltage output for the camera, so if you put 6 cells into this, you're getting 6 cell voltage coming out to your camera, so be careful. Now make sure you're not using a PZ 2040 whatever thing, 12 volt. No, make sure you're not using a 12 volt or a 5 volt camera, because this will fry it if you plug it into the wrong voltage. And this is a lead goes off obviously to your GoPro or your Mobius or something, but it doesn't provide power either, so don't let the battery on that camera go flat or you'd get no video signal. That is the Q58 series. It's available in different power levels. This is the 200 milliwatt, but you can get 25, 200, 400 and 600 milliwatts in these little things here. And who knows, it may be useful if you've got an application for it. You know, it could be just the bee's knees. It's certainly better than having a SMA and an elbow and another SMA, because every time you run one of these connectors on a 5.8 gig system, you tend to lose a bit of power. Creates that SWR problem I was talking about, especially with the cheap connectors. There you go. That is that. I will now look at something else. Okay, here's something different, a 200 milliwatt 5.8 gigahertz FPV transmitter. Yeah, how different can you get? But this is, the last one was the Q58-2. This is the QE58-2. What's the difference? Well, this comes in a swanky plastic box with a magnetic catch and some foam rubber insert there, and it's pretty much the same unit, but the differences are it comes with one of the crap-ass linear antennas, and so we'll give it the RC Model Reviews treatment. There you go. That was quick and easy dealt with. It comes with the same lead. Actually, it doesn't seem to come with a GoPro lead. I noticed that this one's just come with a servo connector and JST that plugs into there. Other than that, it looks pretty damn similar to the last one, but as you can see, I know it is a bit different because they've soldered the, oh, I better get a close up here so you can see what I'm talking about. It is actually a bit different. I thought it might have just been the same module with the SMA soldered on, but you can see the SMA area is different, and this just has an SMA on there. In fact, what is this, an RP SMA or an SMA? It is an SMA, this one, because remember, SMA has a hole in there for the pin on the other end, and RP SMA has a pin poking out. So this is an SMA type. Now I'm going to get the other one that I have already just carefully put away, which I shouldn't have bothered. Just compare the boards side by side. We'll see if there's much difference. I think there's a hell of a lot of difference actually just looking at it. So even though it bears the same Q52 whatever thingy, if we look at the top, you can see what I mean about these modules being, let me turn it around so we can get them both in shot. See what I mean about the modules being pretty much the same from one unit to another. I mean, these modules are, say, made by a factory. They make squillions of them. The different manufacturers buy them and then build the boards underneath to give you the variations that you see in the marketplace. So this is an Elite. This is called the Elite. Is it a Quanum Elite? I don't know. It doesn't say. No, it's just called, oh yes it is, it's Quanum Elite. The other one is just Quanum. So this must be better because it says Elite. I don't know. I don't think so. But actually, let's have a look. No, there is a difference because, as you can see, this one here, the circuit board goes up where the SMA connector would solder on, and this one, it doesn't. But let's flip them over and flip them over. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of difference. So it's the same module, but different electronics behind it doing all the work. Now, this one has a button again. Sorry if you can hear an aeroplane in the background. It's one of the hassles living at an airfield, or working at an airfield. This one has a button, but instead of having an 8-segment display or 7-segment display like that, it has a row of LEDs to show the band and the and the frequency, or the band in the channel. So there you go. Is this a 40 channel unit? Let me just take a look on the instructions that are carefully enclosed. What does it say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it looks like it's a race band one as well, or 40 channel video transmitter. So there you go. That's it. It's just another option. I don't know why they. Oh, it's Elite. That's why it's Elite. It's got a plastic box, of course. So this is the Quanum Elite 58-2. The other one is just the Quanum 58-2. That's the difference. Which is the best one? Don't know. The module, as I say, is the same, so they'll probably perform very similarly. The downside would be that this has the potentially higher SWR and the losses of that coaxial lead. But as I say, I'll stick them all in a row and we will test them all out. We'll put them side by side and compare. Focus camera. Now, thank you. We'll compare the results. But there you go. That's another option. I'm surprised that this didn't come with the little, that this one, the Elite version, is the one that didn't come with a lead for your GoPro or your Mobius. Anyway, there's more stuff to look at here. Yes, it's more FPV offerings from the Quanum Elite series. They've got lots of stuff, 5.8 gigahertz, 40 channels race band. Actually, I'm kind of liking this. I've already used one of these when I did my antenna shootout thing. I actually really like this little unit, and there's two of them. I'll show you the difference. It says it features a super mini lightweight as 12.2 grams. What does that mean? Lightweight as 12.2 grams. I don't know. If they don't know, or I don't know, why we even put it on the box? Button control instead of a switch for easy operation. Elegant design with CNC aluminium case, or aluminum for the American market. Now, okay, elegant. I've never been asked how elegant my quads were, but 40 channels with race band. This is a 200 milliwatt one, as you can see, but obviously comes in 25 or 600 as an option. It has a picture there, diagram, wonderful, and Quanum Elite. Now, the only thing I don't like about this, and I don't usually do unboxings, and this won't be any different, because it's not so much boxed as imprisoned. You can't get the bloody thing out without, I don't know, what do you do? I'll stab it with my knife. There you go. You have to attack it to get it out. It's the foam packing. I suppose that's good because it's not going to get damaged in transit if it's that hard to get out of the box. Right, so what do we get? This is the unit itself. Let's take a closer look. There we go. It is Elite. It says so on the case. And it is aluminium or aluminum, depending on where you live. It's got the thing that's really, I'm so happy with this. It's actually got mounting lugs. I mean, I give up the number of times that I've had something like, let me just get it out of the box. I should have just leave these things out of the boxes. Something like this. How do you mount that? When you consider it's got an antenna hanging off it, you can use double-sided tape, but if you put double-sided tape on this side where it's flat, it reduces the ability for the heat from the module to be radiated. So it really can mean the system can suffer from premature failures due to overheating. You can use a cable tie, but then you're putting pressure on these components here, and in a crash it's likely to pop this inductor off here, which is for the power supply. There's no easy way to mount these. It's a great oversight. And so when I saw this, I was chuffed to bits because I can bolt the damn thing to the frame. Brilliant. Oh, why didn't someone do that before? Now, it's got a nice little red window here, and it's got little LEDs that light up along there. So it doesn't have a 7-segment display. It's got a row of LEDs like the other Quantum Elite we just looked at. Let's see how it makes my camera go dark. So shiny that it affects the exposure. Little button for changing channel. That's fine. That's good. That's lovely. And I think it's got a microphone in there. It's got a microphone built into it. Woohoo! I don't know why, but you might need a microphone. Your power connector, power and video connector there. On the back, it's just, what does it say? Is it specially engraved with my name? No. Just tells you it's 200 milliwatt, 5.8 gigahertz, blah, 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 blah. So there you go. It is heavier, of course, than the bare unit, but it's so much better protected. And also, when we're talking about getting rid of heat, this got this massive aluminium heat sink, which will mean that when you have your quad sitting there for, 10 minutes without being used, it's not going to blow up your FPV module with your transmitter, because there's more dissipation. There's going to be more radiant dissipation from this and convective dissipation from this FPV transmitter than from the one that's wrapped in plastic. I love it. It's great. Really good. I am going to buy some of these because I really like them. Now, I see there were two types. This one has the connector coming out the end, so you can plug your favorite antenna in there, or a lead to, take it off and mount it on a bulkhead, but I really do prefer just having my antennas mounted straight on the transmitters. So that's that one, but there's another one, and this is the one I used in my antenna tests. It's exactly the same. Whoops, exactly the same, but look, it's got a vertical right angle effectively SMA connector on it. So this one, you can have this mounted hard on the bottom of your frame and then your antenna can poke straight up. Brilliant. I love it. They think of everything. So, yep, that's good. I like these little Elites. That they really do look like they're quite promising. And in the box, just pull out a bit so you can see what else we get in the box. You get, oh my goodness, why does the Elite system come with a crap-ass antenna? And the non-Elite comes with a circularly polarized one. Only HobbyKing know the answer to this. I dare say they won't tell us. It's got some mangled cardboard, which every video transmitter should have. And again, it only has the lead for a regular board camera or like a HS1177, no lead for your Mobius or your GoPro. And it's supposed to be Elite. Come on, guys, get your act together. The non-Elite has that lead. Why doesn't the Elite? But there you go. Yeah, of the products I've seen so far, I like these the most. These look really good. I will be testing them out alongside the others, but I've got more to look at today. We've got a couple of cameras, and here's the first one. It is the AOM Way. It sounds like Aomway, doesn't it? Maybe we should have multi-level sales and recruit friends to go and sell stuff that nobody wants to people who don't need it. But AOM Way, whatever it's called, that's it. And this is a bit tricky. Now, I know my good friend from RC Shim, I know that he bought one of these and he thought it was a CCD camera because, look, if you look at the side of the box, it says CCD. And he thought, oh, CCD. 1200 TV lines. Woo, great. But no, it's not, because on the other side it says, where does it say? MOS, no, it doesn't say there. Where is it? Here, CCD/CMOS. Well, it can't be both, and it's not. It's a CMOS camera. CMOS camera, that's why it's fairly inexpensive. And so, it's a bit of a deception because it depends on what they've inked out on the box here, you see. So there's a 700 TV line and a 1200. And I think the 700 is the CMOS and the 1200 may be a CCD, I don't know. But this is all kind of deceptive, having all this comms. What does comms mean? It's supposed to be CMOS, but, oh man, how can you misspell CMOS and end up with comms? Because it's CMOS and CCD. Oh, anyway, back to the camera. Here it is. It looks a bit like a owl, doesn't it? It's got a great big lens on the front. I think it's a 2.1 millimeter from memory, which is quite a wide angle, and comes with some rather nice mounting hardware for mini quads and things. Comes with some leads, oddball leads. This is obviously designed for the immersion RC transmitters, and it plugs into the back of the camera. This is designed for, I have no bleeding idea what this is designed for actually, because I don't know what that plugs into. If it's not anything I've seen, because if it was one of those little Quanum transmitters we saw before, it would have a power lead coming out with a JST, so don't know. But there you go. So that's a little camera. CMOS, it's pretty much the same, I think, as the one they use in the Mobius backpack, which is this unit here. I think it's pretty much the same camera. It's looking kind of similar, except maybe for the lens. So I'm thinking that this is the, just that's with a backpack on there. This is just the bare camera. They work okay. They work all right. They're not a patch on the HS1177 or the PZ2040, whatever it is, board camera with the CCD with the wide dynamic range. They do get really confused by bright cloudy skies. When you have that sort of very, very white total cloud cover, these things go black when you put the nose of the model up and point it at the sky. The ground disappears into a black blob, like all CMOS cameras do. So they say wide dynamic range, but it's nowhere near as wide as a good CCD. But if you're on a budget and you fly mainly in super sunny, shiny weather where there's no clouds, then this will do the job very nicely. And there you go, mounting hardware, blah, blah, cables. That's that. Now, I've got another camera in here, which was more exciting to me. Oh no, here it is, okay. It is, I don't know if you can read on it, Diatone. Diatone, where do they get these names? Diatone? Anyway, Diatone, it's got a whole lot of writing on the back, but inside is mounting hardware and screws and some instructions. Here we go. Get them out, come out. Instructions, comprehensive instructions. But what really the best thing about this little camera is, wait for it, the size. Look at it. It's tiny. It's a little wee thing, little tiny camera. And it's even got a microphone. All that tiny camera, it also has a microphone on it, has a lead. I have no idea what that's supposed to plug in. Again, chop that off probably. Obviously it's designed for something else and it's been repurposed for FPV. Otherwise it would have the normal servo connector and JST, but it doesn't. So there you go. The instructions tell us what wire is which. There we go. So we can easily wire that in. I'll just, excuse me while I go to screen because I haven't actually even opened this before. And it says that, oh, this is for a whole range of cameras. So we don't know which one this actually is. Does it say on the box? We'll have a look at the bottom. Oh dear, what have we got here? Blah, blah, 120-degree camera angle. So it's quite wide angle, which is good. Like wide angle cameras. Resolution 1280 by 960. Yeah, right. Yeah, come on. You're dreaming. Maybe was it the 408 or the, I've got to look for the number. Just doesn't have, none of the numbers on the box correspond to the numbers in the instructions. So, okay. It's a bit of a lottery here, folks. It says 600 TV lines, but none of the instructions correlate to 600 TV lines. So, oh, hang on a minute. Going down a bit. Okay, yeah. Very confusing, very confusing. It's PAL or NTSC, I don't know which. It runs on 3.3 to 5 volts. So it's a 5 volt camera. Don't plug it into 12 volts or the magic smoke will come out. I'm going to use this. I'm going to try this out. I've got some small models I want to try out FPV on. I'm going to give this a go. This will be a whole video on its own. Setting this up, seeing how well it works. I've already tried some cheap, super cheap little mini cameras like I did on the FPV Ladybird. And they, to be honest, weren't that flash. I mean, they were cloudy and yeah, it wasn't very good, but hopefully this will be a whole lot better, because if it is, micro FPV is a wonderful way to enjoy the hobby. You can even fly inside. It's great. There you go. I think that's all that came in my box. It's all that's in my box, and that's all I'm going to share with you today. So if you've got any questions about any of the individual products, if you want to see more on a particular product, let me know. As I say, we'll be doing a side-by-side shootout of all the 200 milliwatt transmitters, and if there's anything you want to see in that, let me know. But I'm really, you guys tell me what you want to see and I will try and deliver it. So in the meantime, thank you for watching. I will now clear my bench and get on, see what else I can find in my magic box of stuff that is yet to be reviewed. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.